When a species goes extinct, that's the end.
Or is it?
In recent times, there have been extraordinary developments in genetics.
Mammoth DNA can be inserted into the exact place on an elephant genome to make the elephant hairier, fatter, and more mammoth-like.
The advances could pave the way for a de-extinction of some species.
There you are. There you are.
Setting aside the complex issue of whether they should be revived, here are 5 that could be brought back to life. Number 5, the woolly mammoth.
Can we do it? I think the future is sort of inevitable that someone will be able to do it, and we will do it.
This majestic Ice Age beast was last seen alive about 4,000 years ago. According to the BBC, the last woolly mammoths to walk the earth were so racked with genetic disease that they lost their sense of smell, shunned company, and had a strange shiny coat.
This is a relatively small mammoth jaw, and this is a single molar from a mammoth.
Environmental factors and/or human hunting evidently led to their extinction. Interestingly, current climate change may allow humans to revive them.
The bones of extinct woolly mammoths are thawing after more than 12,000 years.
Due to melting permafrost in Siberia, their well-preserved carcasses are popping up fairly regularly.
The last mammoths died out around 4,000 years ago, but Yakutia's permafrost, soil that stays frozen year-round, preserves mammoth remains that would rot in warmer climates.
These can be used to map out their genes. Scientists believe woolly mammoth and an Asian elephant could have a baby together.
You take those genes, you synthesize them, and you insert them into the embryo of an Asian elephant. So an Asian elephant gives birth to a woolly mammoth.
Very difficult process. I think we have to try.
Number 4, moa.
One of our spectacular specimens made it right up into recent times, in fact, killed off by humans, a giant flightless bird from New Zealand.
Until about 700 years ago, the moa was a common sight in parts of New Zealand.
They were the tallest birds ever known. I mean, they've got leg bones the size of cow leg bones.
That changed due to the usual reasons: habitat loss, overhunting, and the introduction of new competitive species. The bird is on a path to de-extinction, though. Seeker notes, scientists have assembled the first nuclear genome for an extinct moa species, the little bush moa. The genome would be critical to possible resurrection of this species and other moa. Number 3, ground sloths. Much larger than the adorable ones that live in the wild now, the extinct variety was about the size of a massive bear and roamed the earth as few as 8,000 years ago.
Whoa. Oh, wow.
It's just amazing. It's just great.
It's unclear why they went extinct, but one study in the Caribbean indicated that the arrival of humans led to their demise. Mother Nature Network reports that DNA has already been extracted from intact hair remains. What scientists need now is a living sloth big enough to serve as a surrogate mother. Of course, an artificial womb might also work in the future. Number 2, passenger pigeons.
In the 1800s, passenger pigeons flew in flocks of billions, darkening the skies for days on end. 100 years later, they were gone.
Passenger pigeons became a staple of the American diet. By the end of the 1800s, millions were being shipped back to cities in the East.
One of the ways they were exploited commercially was through trap shooting. What they did was catch live pigeons, bring them to events where they would put them into small traps, and the trap would fall open, the bird would be scared and fly upwards and be shot at.
The last one known to humankind passed away in 1914.
When Martha passed away on September 1st, 1914, it was the first documented extinction of a species at the hand of man. Her body was frozen in a 300-pound block of ice and shipped to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C.
Scientists are now working to bring the passenger pigeon back. Here's a high-level explanation of the potential approach.
How do we make it? It comes down to 3 major phases. And don't get me wrong, these are really, really big phases. They're not bullet points like this. Creating a genome, getting it into a cell. Coaxing that cell into being a bird, and taking that bird and repopulating it into a flock.
Number 1, the Tasmanian tiger.
The thylacine, or the tiger as you'd call him, has been creating quite a lot of interest lately.
According to a study published in Nature Ecology and Evolution, this was the largest carnivorous Australian marsupial to survive into the modern era.
You mean they carry their young in a pouch, like kangaroos? Yes, that's right.
The last known Tasmanian tiger died in captivity in 1936. Hunting pressure from humans was among the factors that led to its demise. But based on recent developments, this beautiful creature might roam planet Earth again. National Geographic notes, a baby Tasmanian tiger collected 108 years ago has provided enough high-quality genetic material for researchers to sequence the animal's entire genome, which could be used to bring the species back from extinction.